Writers Presents. I am Tracy S. Phillips, and I am here today with Margaret Mizushima, the author of the Timber Creek Canine Mystery Series. Today, we are discussing Fighting Edge, the 11th book featuring Deputy Maddie Walker and her canine, Robo. The Fighting Edge has made it to my list of top reads of 2026, and that's because the Fighting Edge is a nail-biting race to uncover how a toddler's mother was murdered and how the crime is related to human trafficking involving innocent juveniles and a criminal fighting dog puppy mill. So there is only one deputy and only one canine who can solve this crime. And today we're talking with the author who will keep you turning pages well into the night. Welcome. I am so glad to have you here today, Margaret.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Absolutely. As always, I love your books and your character. And your writing is so clean and clear, even with police procedure things going on and how she operates with her canine. So yeah. How do you stay inspired to keep a long series like this going?
Tracy, I think it's the characters. When I started book one, Killing Trail, well over 10 years ago, probably was 14 years ago, because it took us several years to find a publisher for it. And since then, we've been publishing one book a year. So we're talking 14 years ago. I decided to give the main protagonist, Deputy Maddie Cobb was her name at that time, a big bunch of baggage for her backstory. And that sustained me for about 8 books, actually. We unpacked that complex backstory for 8 books, and I kind of wrapped up that part of Maddie's life in book 8, which was called Standing Dead. And at that time, I happened to be moving across country from Colorado to Washington State, and I was very overwhelmed and burned out. And I thought, in Standing Dead, I'm going to wrap up this series. It will be the last book in the series. But once I got here, I got settled into a new home. My publisher was still interested in continuing the series, Crooked Lane Books. And I went ahead and signed another contract. So we have now published 3 additional books, the 11th comes out September 8th. And I'm writing book 12. So, sometimes you have to just give yourself a little break. And maybe that inspiration and that energy will return when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Absolutely. It seems like some of your criminal investigations come ripped right out of the headlines. Are they? And how do you stay up to date on, this is a separate question sort of, but maybe you can tie it in. How do you stay up to date on the latest methods using canines for solving crimes?
Well, there's a reason why some of these plots seemed ripped from the headlines. I have to confess, I am a true crime addict. And I listen to and watch true crime podcasts, and I watch the different shows like 48 Hours and Dateline. And I have a stenographer's notebook by my chair that I actually take notes. I might not use that crime, but I might use something about it in a subplot or a plot. My books have to have subplots that tie into the main plot because I have to have something for Deputy Walker, Maddie. Her name now is Deputy Walker. I have to have something for her to do with her canine Robo. And I have to have something for her husband, Cole Walker, who is a veterinarian, to do that contributes to solving the case. And then I have to have something for the detective to do. So trying to keep all of those characters in play requires not only a main plot, but the subplots to kind of keep going. And then there's always a substop plot with Maddie and Cole's backstory, their character arc, I should say, going along in the book, and tying that into the series arc. So all of that has to happen, and pulling things from true crime is kind of a way that I keep it going. As far as keeping up with canine handling, I'm just in constant touch with canine handlers. And once I determine the crime, I have to really think about how the dog is going to come into play and what kind of evidence the dog is going to find. And so that kind of gets wrapped up into my plot. I'm an outliner. Part of my advance is tied to an outline, so I have to be an outliner. The outline may change, it may shift. Sometimes it's very loose and lacy. There are holes in it. But yeah, I really have to know what that dog's going to be doing. Sometimes it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are a lot of moving parts, going back to how you weave together Maddie and Cole and the investigator and the dog. That's a lot of moving parts to keep together.
It is. It's, provides crazy making time whenever I'm writing a book, for sure. Lots of nights you lie awake wondering what's going to be written the next day, even with the outline.
Right. And then you lay awake and suddenly it'll come to you at 4 a.m. or something.
Exactly. And you'd better get up because you'll forget it by 6.
Well, for sure. So you dive very deeply into some dark subject matter. And I mean, that's kind of what the news is these days, right? Namely human trafficking of children that are being used as slave labor in this book. How do you how do you write all of that without it bringing you down?
Actually, sometimes it does. I remember the summer I wrote Hunting Hour, which was really the whole theme of that was mental health issues. And I can remember getting very depressed during that because so many of my characters were fighting depression. And, a lot of people suffer depression in the fall, but for me, my down period seems to be summer, and I think it's related to heat. Moving to Washington State and living on the Olympic Peninsula, we're in a very cool part of the country. We're way up north, so that really helps. But yeah, delving into dark subjects and having villains taking so much power over vulnerable people is really difficult for me at times. And I just have to take breaks from it. And, we mystery writers, I'm sure yourself included, we have to go there for some of our books. And I write police procedurals, not cozies. So I do tend to go there quite a bit. Some people say, gosh, you seem like such a nice lady. Why do you write about murder? And it's like, I really think it's a way to claim back that vulnerability by going onto the page and having that villain get their comeuppance.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that is a relief for us. We are trying to see justice in play.
Right.
Yeah. And making these villains get their due.
Yes. We like that part of our books.
Yes.
That's the fun part to write.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you sit down to write, you said you plot it all out for your publisher. Do your characters ever surprise you in the process?
They definitely do. And that's what I like about really having the freedom to change the outline at any time. The book I'm writing now has, I've eliminated whole sections of the outline because there's been something that I wanted to delve into more deeply than originally planned. For Fighting Edge, the surprise came at the ending. The biggest surprise. I had written an ending in the outline of something big needs to happen. So that's how loose my outlines can be sometimes. And so when I got to that chapter and it was the climax scene, I was surprised that Maddie almost lost her life.
Right.
She sustains an injury that is life-threatening. And then I needed to figure out how to deal with that because Robo was not injured and he was an integral part of catching the bad guy. Yeah. And so I had to figure all that out, and I hope my readers are intrigued enough that they will pick up a copy and read it to the end.
Yes, absolutely. It's hard to talk about that without giving anything away. But that was so exciting too. And there were parts of that I wasn't aware how that would be managed between the canine and the handler. So it was very informative as well. Nicely done.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Edge of your seat reading, it's the best.
Yeah. Yes. For many people, thank goodness, many readers like that edge of the seat reading, which your books give me too when I read them.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So your books also weave together, well, all the characters, but Maddie and Cole's stories are sort of go back and forth, a lot like a romance. And I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying that there is a romance throughout the series.
That's fine. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And then do you write the chapters consecutively, or do you do Cole's story and then Maddie's story?
I'm a very longitudinal writer. I have friends who call themselves quilters, where they just write scenes and then piece them together. I have to start with page 1 and then I go to the end. I do end up in the editing process, sometimes cutting and pasting and moving scenes around. Thank goodness for word processors. How did people do it on typewriters? I don't know.
Print it all out and have piles around the floor,
Yeah, and maybe cut and paste is there for a reason, right?
Yes, yes.
So yes, I pretty much do it longitudinally, but in my outline and planning, I try to insert a chapter for Cole at a fairly frequent level, although as a book gets closer and closer to the end, I'm pretty much sticking in Maddie's point of view.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But my books have never really alternated chapters because there are more chapters for Maddie than there are for Cole. She's the star of the book. She is Robo.
Oh.
Are we?
Yep, we're fine.
We're fine.
I have an animal here, and she's decided to play with the cord for the camera.
So, I saw her in the window earlier.
The joy of live recording.
Yes.
That was Moon, everyone. So,
Oh, Moon. Oh.
all right.
Well,
Well,
we were finishing up, I think, on plotting and
yes.
writing the story from beginning to end.
I'm just getting the cable out of her little paws. So the last question I have is, in the wake of AI being unleashed on the publishing industry the way it has been, do you feel like the publishing population and the landscaping has gotten bigger in our community, or has it felt like it's gotten smaller?
The whole AI aspect is just a jungle, in my opinion. I know that, several of us are involved in the Anthropic claim against Anthropic for stealing our books, pirating our books, and using them for AI training. I think that in some genres, for instance, I've heard in the romance writing that the landscape opened up tremendously, and there are some authors who are writing books with AI and not trying to cover it up at all. They're self-publishing those books and selling those books and producing at a huge level that would be impossible if you created a book on your own. One thing I have noticed, though, in the 14 years, I guess, that I've really been focusing on the canine genre within crime fiction is the explosion of canine books, and not necessarily canine books written by AI, but actually written by real people. We really have just created our own little subgenre, and I think it's wonderful because readers love reading about these dogs, and it's great that they have all of these different options and they can binge read several authors and not run out of material. So
and another one I just mentioned really quickly is Kathleen Donnelly, who's also a Blackbird writer.
Yes,
and I know you two work closely together sometimes too.
Well, while Kathleen was managing her narcotics detection dog, she was a great resource for me, and she allowed me to shadow her, attend their practices and their trainings, and she showed me so much about narcotics detection. I'm very grateful for that. So most of my background had been more in search and rescue and nose work for dogs. So it was great to get that aspect for Robo because that's what he's trained in.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And it's so amazing what those dogs can do.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and they love their work too. I think it's so cool.
I can listen to canine handlers talk about their dogs forever, and they all love to talk about their dogs because they are such superstars in the police department.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, Margaret, thank you so much for talking with me today. Where can readers purchase Fighting Edge or pre-purchase it? And when will it hit the bookshelves?
It will hit bookshelves formally on September 8th, but pre-purchases are available at your favorite bookseller. Please, if it's a brick and mortar shop, please ask for it to be ordered for you. If it's an online bookseller, you can just go online now and find Fighting Edge, a Timber Creek Canine Mystery, and that will lead you to a sales page where you can pre-order it. The print version, the ebook version, and the audio version are all going to come out on September 8th. There's a bit of a delay for the audio version's sales pages, but please keep looking because you will find it before September 8th. And pre-orders help authors so much. So I very much appreciate pre-orders. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And your website, can you please mention that quickly?
Yes, it's margaretmizushima.com. My name is spelled in the pictures, so I'll let you look at the caption for the spelling. Just add .com and you'll find my website. Please sign up for my newsletter and I will keep you informed once a month in your inbox with what's happening with my book news. I often have giveaways and I often have pictures of dogs.
I was going to say dog photos.
Cute dog photos.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.